Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're here reading the Bhagavatam again outside. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's a bit nippy.
It's nowhere near nippy, but she's cold. Clouds to the left of us, sun to the right.
That's a song, isn't it?
Something. So we're going to read Bhagavatam. Please all join in if you can. Where are we at?
Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 31.
We got a little friend right there. You see?
He's not allowed to join in because he's a dog.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright,
text 31.
It's noisy around here.
Hold on.
If you hold on every time I'm playing it, which I wouldn't be like.
Yeah, but they won't be able to hear us. Isn't it? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me when I'm saying? It's gone now. It was actually just what we used to call in America Granddaddy Long Legs, but it kind of freaked me out. Could you hear? That's really... It's gone, man. Okay. Come on. Whoopsie daisy. Okay.
I need a drink. I need some stronger than that, boy.
It was just a Granddaddy Long Legs.
He threw it on me and it was crawling on me.
It was
I don't know where it is because Daddy Long Legs, you can't see them. They're like invisible. You only see a teeny weeny bit of the body and...
It went on the floor. It's just on the floor.
Yeah, my legs are on the floor. No, look.
Yeah.
Damn! It's on the web!
Okay, so I wonder if we're going to get to read the Bhagavatam today.
This is why you don't see outside.
Look, there's a little one there. Can't even see them. There's lots of bugs out here in this garden, actually. But we're going to read Bhagavatam and become fearless, right? Come on, read. Stiff upper lip and all that. 3 minutes already passed.
Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, your personality and eternal form cannot be understood by any person who is trying to know you through the different processes of acquiring knowledge. Your position is always transcendental to the material creation, whereas the empiric attempt to understand you is material, as are its objectives and instruments." Purport. It is said that the transcendental main qualities, activities, paraphernalia, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be understood with our material senses. The attempt of the empiric philosophers to understand the absolute truth by speculation is always futile because their process of understanding, the objective, and the instruments by which they try to understand the absolute truth are all material. The Lord is Aprakrita, beyond the creation of the material world. This fact is also accepted by the great impersonist Sankaracharya. Narayan Yana Paro Avyaktad under Avyakta Sambhavam. Avyakta, or the original material cause, is beyond this material manifestation, and he is the cause of the material world. Because Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond the material world, one cannot speculate upon him by any material method. One has to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by the transcendental method of Krishna consciousness. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijananti. Only by devotional service can one understand the transcendental form of the Lord. The difference between the impersonalist and the personalist is that the impersonalists, limited by their speculative processes, cannot even approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the devotees please the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his transcendental loving service. 7. Mukhe hai. Due to the service attitude of the devotee, the Lord is revealed to him. The Supreme Lord cannot be understood by materialistic persons, even though he is present before them. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna therefore condemns such materialists as mudas. Muda means rascal. It is said in the Gita, only rascals think of Lord Krishna as an ordinary person. They do not know what Lord Krishna's position is or what his transcendental potencies are. Unaware of his transcendental potencies, the impersonalists derive the person of Lord Krishna, whereas the devotees, by dint of their service attitude, can understand him as a personality of Godhead. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also confirmed that it is very difficult to understand the personality of the Lord. Even the dog didn't save me.
So, reflections on the purport you just read? Or are you still thinking about the spider?
Anyway, while I was reading this, Prabhupada, this theme of impersonalist and personalist is obviously very prominent if you're reading Prabhupada's books. And I was thinking, like, I think for me, I came across it in Prabhupada's books. There was an assumption it was accepted that God is a person in my upbringing. That's how we were brought up. There was no question about it at all. But the concepts of personalist, impersonalist, I didn't have that until I read Prabhupada's book. So when I was reading this, Prabhupada is explaining how the personalist, through the service attitude, service meaning you're going to serve a person, or a living entity, and that's going to, so a living entity meaning a supreme entity, a person, and that's how Krishna's going to be pleased. So I was thinking that, okay, and then when we come to ISKCON and we come to read Prabhupada's books, and you kind of like think, Mayavadi is impersonalist, we're personalist, and you can get on a certain trip, as it were. Just as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, you can be conditioned in the mode of goodness, which is also the first time I heard that point, that you can be conditioned. You can, some sense of pride or whatever, complacency can set in. So then my point I'm making is that we can get a little conditioned or complacent or proud of, Mayavadis, impersonalists, and we're the personalists, as it were. But are we? But truly are we? And what I mean, and this is what I was getting from this and relating to life, is how personal are we with our dealings with devotees? Because that's a reflection, surely, of our personal nature as a devotee, because it's not just me and Krishna, and I'll make sure I turn up on time to cook his breakfast, I dress him on such and such day, I offer the arati, or whatever service you do, book distribution or preaching. But if we're not personal, and simple things, I'm just going to give an example, it's nothing I'm just giving an example, like if you're chanting japa in the morning, for example, if you go to the temple, whatever, to chant, is it like, if he's sitting there and I'm sitting a little bit there, but you know, I get a bit sleepy, I've got to get up, got a dodgy knee, whatever, I'm going to walk around. So I'll just like, as opposed to walking over there, because I'm being personal, because there's a person here that's trying to, I'm going to go in and out and upside down and this and that and that. I'm just giving an example. It's like, how does it, but while I'm doing that activity, I'm thinking, I'm listening to my rounds, you know, I'm listening to the words, because I want to, because that's what you're supposed to do when you chant, you're supposed to be attentive. But how attentive am I to the devotees? If that makes sense.
So you said you get up to go and chant.
I don't, by the way.
You're tired, and then you're proud. You're tired, and then you.
There you go. He's a flipping spider on me. Now he insults me.
So you said you get up to do something, and then what are you saying? What do? You interrupt the devotee who's sitting next to you chanting?
Yeah, in the quest to be personal. In the quest to be personal with the Lord, I'm how impersonal are we with those around us to attain?
Yeah, I get that, but what is your point about the chanting japa thing? I
was just giving an example of impersonal.
But what did you do? It didn't make sense. You get up.
I said Shiva.
Shivade. Shivade.
That was a jumping jack, wasn't it? Did you see it? It went
It was a bee.
No. That thing pulling on me
That was a spider, but the other thing was a bee. Yeah.
I'm going to have to edit this video heavily, man. This is not showing me in a good light.
Lord.
What's going on? Yeah,
so. You said I get up to go, I'm chanting, and I get up because I got a bad knee, and there's someone sitting next to me. What are you doing? Did you say, hello, I got a bad knee?
No.
Or did you just walk, and then you said I walk?
Yeah, walk around. I'm oblivious to how, I'm not personal.
So you're impersonal, and you're dealing with them, because you don't really care that they're sitting there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go somewhere else where I don't bother them. Well, let me give you another real life example very quickly, because this is real life example. I'm sitting there.
This is real life, by the way.
Look at my hair. I'm sitting there chanting my rounds. Ladies on one side, men on the other side. I'm like, blah, Hare Krishna, not blah, blah, blah. I was like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All of a sudden, I'm hearing this, like, actually, I don't know how to describe it, but someone's chanting, and it, like, I was like, what is going on? And that person who was a man, because men on one side, women on the other side, they decided we're on Prabhupada's side, men are on the deity side.
Space here.
What? So yeah, this person just stood facing Prabhupada, which means you're amplifying towards us, especially me, really loud, and I realised it was because they were finishing their final round. So you want it, and I was like, whoa, even I caught eye with someone across the room, and they were like, I was like, yeah, dude. And then they finished, and they crashed down to the ground and made a noise, because that's how you pay obeisances, jumped up and legged it out, and I was like, okay, so I'm glad you got what you needed to do and connected, but you just stabbed the whole room. That's not personal, because I'm not caring for how I'm affecting other people. If I'm in my home, I can, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, even if it's just us two, I've got to be even if it's just us two, I like to put on Prabhupada chanting in the mornings, and I do say, are you right? Is that too loud? Well, because I would put it louder than I do, but I'm conscious that not everyone's in that space when they're chanting. So anyway, I've made too many points now.
No, that's amazing. Personal or impersonal? The first time you heard about that, I thought that was intriguing. The first time you heard about it was reading in Prabhupada.
Yeah.
I guess it was for me also.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably grew up with a personal concept, but then somehow became influenced by an impersonal concept. I'm not sure where that came from, but anyway. Okay, we'll read 32. King Indra said, "My dear Lord, your transcendental form with 8 hands and weapons in each of them appears for the welfare of the entire universe and is very pleasing to the mind and eyes. In such a form, your lordship is always prepared to punish the demons who are envious of your devotees." Purport. It is generally understood from revealed scriptures that Lord Vishnu appears with 4 hands. But in this particular sacrificial arena, Lord Vishnu arrived with 8 hands. King Indra said, "Even though we are accustomed to see your 4-handed Vishnu form, this appearance with 8 hands is as real as the 4-handed form. As Lord Brahma had said, to realize the transcendental form of the Lord is beyond the power of the senses." In reply to the statement of Brahma, King Indra said that even though the transcendental form of the Lord is not perceivable by the material senses, his activities and his transcendental form can be understood. The Lord's uncommon features, uncommon activities, and uncommon beauty can be perceived even by an ordinary man. For example, when Lord Krishna appeared just like a 6 or 7-year-old boy in Vrindavan, he was approached by the residents there. There were torrents of rain, and the Lord saved the residents of Vrindavan by lifting Govardhan Hill and resting it on the little finger of his left hand for 7 days. This uncommon feature of the Lord should convince even materialistic persons who want to speculate to the limit of their material senses. The activities of the Lord are pleasing to experimental vision also, but impersonalists will not believe in his identity because they study the personality of the Lord by comparing their personality to his. Interesting. Excuse me. Because men in this material world cannot lift a hill, they do not believe that the Lord can lift one either. They accept the statements of the Srimad Bhagavatam to be allegorical, and they try to interpret them in their own way. But factually, the Lord lifted the hill in the presence of all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, as corroborated by great acharyas and authors like Vyasadeva and Narada. Everything about the Lord, his activities, his pastimes, and uncommon features should be accepted as is. And in this way, even in our present condition, we can understand the Lord. In the instance herein, King Indra confirmed, your presence with 8 hands is as good as your presence with 4 hands. There is no doubt about it. It's interesting. It kind of comes across like a bit of, like, yeah, okay, we'll accept your 8-arm form.
Yeah.
Like, it's as good as your 4-arm form.
Yeah.
You would have thought more arms the better. Double your money, double your luck. You got Vishnu with 8 arms instead of 4. That would seem a little more convincing to me, even. If I was used to seeing a 4-arm form and then there's an 8-arm form. It's incredible. What if he showed up with this 1,000-arm form? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Prabhupada said the activities of the Lord, people impersonalists don't believe in them because they compare themselves to him. I was just thinking, like, that's interesting because, and it's true, like, people are skeptical about scriptures and what's said in there in terms of what God, whichever name you call him in different scriptures, can do. And yet, in this material world, you will find humans, you could say people just like us, humans, I'm not saying demigods or anything, that do some pretty amazing things, and it's accepted, and you give them prizes, and you give them trophies. You know, people like, what's his name? Kipchog. He runs the marathon in 2 hours. Kenyan runner. I mean, and that's accepted, and everyone's, oh my God, you know. Like, you know, the world's strongest man, and he lifts some big heavy stone ball or whatever. You know, these things that people can do. And it's like, to the average person, it's like, oh my God, that's so... Oh my God.
What was it?
It's it.
Where?
It looks like the grass, but it's not.
Oh, it's a grasshopper. Be calm, grasshopper.
We might have to cut this short.
I think this would be the most exciting reading. Please comment if you feel like we should have cut all these bug bits out.
Well, I need a stiff drink. I'm not joking. You see me, buy me a drink. If you know me.
You know,
Look at it.
I might put it up to the camera.
Look at what it's doing there. No, dude, it's there. There, by your feet now. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Move your legs, move your legs.
Oh, yeah. But there it goes.
Sorry about this.
There's a grasshopper.
It's gross. It's really gross.
Anyway, you were saying something.
So I was.
Big dong, some dong ran two out.
Kipchog, but that's not the point.
Kipchog.
I'm saying we accept these things. You don't question it. You know, maybe they're questioned from the point of view people have like in Olympics or otherwise they have a drugs test and it's like, oh, they failed that. But for the best part, we accept. That's what's that one? I'm going to say the name wrong now again. Usain Bolt, isn't it? You know who I'm talking about. He's a very fast runner.
Usain Bolt. Well, his name's Bolt, so he's bolting.
He's embarrassing himself because you don't know who it is. But anyway,
who it is, actually.
I'm saying people get, and deservedly so, they get
medals,
accolades, medals, and that's my point. Accepted, and yet when you say, and Krishna, so the world's strongest man lifted up this big iron ball or whatever, and it is heavy. I couldn't do it. I tried to lift up that boulder around the corner. Do you remember the other day? In that, I couldn't do it. But the world's strongest. Oh God, the world's strongest man could. I just felt something. And yet, when Krishna lifts up a measly hill, come on, he's God. A measly hill is nothing compared
he's lifting all the planets
to God. And we're like, whatever, these fairy tales that these Hindus go on about, you know, like that.
Mythology.
Or mythology, as Prabhupada said.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my point. But I'm my nerves are on edge. I'm feeling, I need a drink or lie down.
I mean, she said that a few times, but I just want to make it clear to all of our viewers out there that we don't drink alcohol. She's just having a laugh. She's being a little sarcastic and joking. We don't drink, okay?
I don't misunderstand me.
She's never drunk.
No, I haven't. I drink water. This is my 3rd litre, by the way. I've drank 2 litres already. This is my 3rd litre. We're
going to call it a day now, grasshoppers, and, you know. I don't know what's in the water she's drinking, but...
it's just water, dude. It's tap water. It's actually tap water.
Yeah, that even is more.
Anyway, this has gone all horrible today.
It hasn't gone horrible. We hope you got something out of this reading.
Let us know what you got out of it.
But she's afraid of bugs. Okay, thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Bhakti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Hari Bol.